We'll start with the identification tag on the side. Here you'll find the manufacturer, date it was manufactured, your VIN number, tire sizes and pressures, and some gross weights. Below that, you'll find your VIN number and also some cargo capacity weights. And up top is a tire chart. At the front and behind your propane tanks is your battery. There is a disconnect on this unit in the front cubby. I'll show that to you when we get there. These are not maintenance-free batteries. You may have to add water to them at some point. If you're not going to be using a unit for a while, I would use your disconnect and disconnect it. And for winter, I would put it somewhere warm for storage. You have two 30-pound propane tanks up front. Covers there. In the middle, you have your selector. You select which tank you want to use. The arrow points to which one. You'll see it's red. Here it goes to green as soon as it hits pressure. Your front jack. It does control all your jacks on these ones. It's kind of bright out right now, but if you hit the power button, they light up. If you want to extend, press it, it's blinking, and we'll go with the tongue jack, or retract. And then you can do the exact same thing for whichever, if you want the right rear or right front, and do whichever ones you want. So that's how that works. Just press the power button, shut the power off. You have safety chains, your breakaway cable. There's your breakaway. One thing to note with these, if this key gets pulled out with your battery hooked up, it does activate your brakes. And if it's left like that for an extended period of time, it's going to drain your battery and probably do damage to your brakes. So make sure that stays in. This little plug in here is for a solar panel. If you ever decide you want to add a solar panel, you can plug it into that. And you have your truck plug there. You have some lights up front, the front cap here, and I'll show you where the light switch is for that. Your battery disconnect is here. If you want to disconnect it and switch it over to off, you have a little light in here, your shore cord, and a crank, which you can use on your powered stabilizer jacks. Slide. Behind your slide is your hot water heater. These hot water heaters are propane and 110 electric. All the controls are on the inside. It's all switch buttons, so you don't have to do anything back here. The only thing you really need to know here is the plug goes in the drain there, and that's very important when you go to winterize. It is winterized now, but just to make sure when you do winterize, make sure the hot water heater is drained. That's a big expense if it busts. Low point drains underneath. There's a blue and a red. You don't have to do anything with those. After you do your winterization, you can open those valves cracked, shut them again. You'll get a little bit of water and some antifreeze come out. Other than that, they can stay closed. On this slide here, you'll see there's arms and the cylinder deal. Just kind of make sure that everything stays clean in here, and everything should work smoothly for you. And behind your slide, this is your black tank flush. If you are going to be flushing your black tank, make sure that you have your black tank valve open. If you don't, it's just going to fill your black tank up, and you'll fill it up, and it's going to not be good, big mess. So that's what that is. And then you have your city water connect here. If you don't want it, if you have water at your campsite, you can just run your garden hose directly into there, turn it on, you're good to go. You have an outside shower with hot and cold. And then below here is your sewer dump. They are labeled. There's a gray, a black, and a gray. So you got your gray there, black there, and the gray there. And you'll see on your power jacks, you have these stabilizers. So you're going to want to make sure that your bolt's loose before you let it down. After you get it down where you want it, then you can tighten it up. Satellite TV input, so that's the input. If you're gonna run cable or a dish, this is where you'd put it in, going in toward the camper. Sewer hose is in the bumper. You have your plug-in for your short cord here. It's a 30 amp. Spare tire is mounted on the rear bumper. You have a ladder at the back, and I do recommend inspecting your roof, you know, a few times a year, or, you know, especially after a storm, or say if you were in a tight camp spot and you had some overhanging trees. Just, you know, take a peek, make sure that everything looks good and there's no rips or broken vents or anything. There is a mount for a backup camera. These things are pre-wired for backup cameras. If that's something that you're interested in, it's very easy to do, very simple. Under the back here you have a propane a quick connect and a valve, and a dog leash. Power awning. You have speakers, outside speakers. Your outside kitchen here, a couple light switches. You have your sink, and just a storage there. A little fridge, and you have your grill, which I need 2 hands to pull it out. Push the blue tabs down, pull it out. Just give me 1 second, I'll pull it out here. Oh. So on here, the quick connect is right there, and the hose is up front, so it hooks up to there, and then down below here is another quick connect gas line. Right next to that is your water drain, your fresh water drain. Here is your freshwater fill. This vent here is for your fridge. There's no reason really to go in there. All the controls are on the inside. On your wheels, the center caps do pop off, and there is grease nipples in behind. Not a bad idea to grease your wheel bearings once in a while. If you are putting on a lot of miles though, I do recommend just getting them repacked, you know, once a year or once every couple of years, depending on how far you're going. Cable TV output, so if you're going to be running a TV outside, this is where you'd hook it up, and this is a mount for a TV mount here. You've got your 110 outlets there. Intake and exhaust for your furnace, and one thing to note, just don't store anything in front of that, it gets super hot. A little light switch here, there's a light underneath there. That vent there is for your range above your stove. Your entrance. And then back up front. This light switch here is for your cap lights. Their power outlet. Propane hose for your stove, or your grill at the back in your kitchen. And this here you can switch out for your sink in the outside kitchen. You can plug this in instead of the little downspout that's in there now. One thing I should have noted too, when you're using your stabilizer jocks, and it says right in front here, not to use your stabilizer jocks for leveling. You want to have your unit fairly level as it is. You can use your front jock to level, but not your stabilizer jocks. So you're going to want to level everything if you have to block your tires or whatever first, and then put your stabilizer jocks down. Just put pressure down. Don't try to lift your camper. It'll end up wrecking your stabilizer jocks. Alright, so that's it for outside. Let's go on inside.